So you guys, the students who attended class on Saturday, was a very nice class, very pleasant. And then I realized at some point I had not recorded it. And so then I had to go back and record the class again. And this Zoom recording, uploading, it's harder than you'd think. I'm curious, are your other professors, are they making weird Zoom errors, like not sharing things that everybody thinks? Yeah, it happened in my class before your class. I broke everybody into breakout rooms and I said, you're gonna work on this. And the thing I thought that they were gonna work on that I'd shared, which I did, none of them could see it. And it took me like 10 minutes to figure this out. And it was just disastrous. So I don't know, this is a very odd semester. The good news is, have you heard about the hurricane not coming our way? Yep, it's going somewhere else. So this is another, oh my God, it's really not happening. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Class starts 10h45 ou 11h moins le quart, donc on est là. A little reminder, if you did not watch the video that I made for Saturday's class, you should go back and watch it. This is the chapter we're working on. It's called Me Voici. And so I do a whole introduction to the chapter in the video. And I'm not going to reintroduce. We're going to kind of get right into other things that I did introduce. So here's the important dates. So you are going to do a family presentation. It is in the video to see what you're supposed to do. We can talk about it. It's not due for a couple of weeks. You will have a quiz on the 25th, and that whole grammar business will be on the 2nd of October. So I'll get your tests back to you in person, which will be on Friday for some of you and next Wednesday for the next. So this is what's coming up. Okay, on va commencer avec un petit rappel de la date et le jour. Alors, quelle est la date aujourd'hui? Quelle est la date aujourd'hui?
15 septembre.
C'est le 15. Est-ce que c'est vraiment le 15? Ce n'est pas le 15. C'est vrai que c'est septembre. Ce n'est pas le 15. Quelle est la date?
Le 14.
Oui, c'est le 14. Très bien.
I said 15th, didn't I?
Tu as dit 15, mais c'est pas grave. Et c'est quel jour de la semaine? C'est quel jour de la semaine? Est-ce que c'est mercredi? Est-ce que c'est jeudi? Est-ce que c'est vendredi?
Lundi.
Lundi, on est lundi. Nous sommes le 14 septembre. Nous sommes lundi, le 14 septembre. OK, nous allons regarder dans un petit instant la famille. Et c'est toujours la famille Simpson. Alors, donc je vais trouver où est-ce qu'il est parti. OK, share. Here's a great vocabulary word for in French, share. Partage, je partage. Alors, est-ce que vous voyez la famille? Alors, comment ces gens-là, comment ils s'appellent? La femme ici, comment elle s'appelle?
Elle s'appelle Marge.
Ah, exactement, très bien. Elle s'appelle Marge. Excellent. Et le monsieur, le papa, comment il s'appelle?
Il s'appelle Bart.
How about somebody who I don't hear from a lot because he sits in the back of the room and doesn't put his camera on? Javon, comment il s'appelle, ce monsieur-là? Javon, tu es là?
Il s'appelle Homer.
Ah, Javon est là. Oui, Javon?
Il s'appelle Homer.
Il s'appelle Homer, très bien. Il s'appelle Homer. Merci. You guys, it is helpful when I see your faces. I know it's like an invasion of your privacy to sit there in your room, but you know, you get to see my house. You don't have to, but it's helpful. Okay. Maintenant, Lane. Comment s'appelle le garçon ici? Comment il s'appelle?
Il s'appelle Bart.
Il s'appelle Bart. Très bien. Et Paige, comment elle s'appelle, cette personne-là? And some of you might not know these names because it's getting old. Like this was my college years. Tu sais comment elle s'appelle? Paige?
Say it again.
Comment elle s'appelle, la petite fille ici? La sœur de Bart.
Is it Elle s'appelle Maggie?
Elle s'appelle, oui, la bébé s'appelle Maggie. C'est vrai, le bébé s'appelle Maggie. Le bébé s'appelle Maggie, mais la petite fille, donc ça c'est Maggie. Et comment s'appelle la petite fille? Je vais demander à Katie. La fille. Donc Bart, Maggie et...
I don't know her name. I don't watch that.
Oui, je comprends. Cameron, tu connais? Tu sais qui c'est ici?
I've never seen that either. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Yeah, like I was saying, it's kind of outdated, but it's what is provided. Alors, nous avons Maggie, Lisa, Bart, et Homer. Il s'appelle Homer et elle s'appelle Marge. OK, on va continuer avec la famille Simpson. Alors, so this is from the perspective of Maggie or Bart. So, mon père, voici mon père. Il s'appelle Homer. Il a 38 ans. Il a 38 ans. Il a 38 ans. What does that mean? Il a 38 ans.
He is 38 years old.
C'est bon, exactement, c'est ça. Voici ma mère, voici ma mère. Elle s'appelle Marge, elle a 38 ans. OK, donc ma mère, mon père. Voici mon frère, il s'appelle Bart, il a 10 ans. Il a 10 ans. Voici ma sœur, la bébé, elle s'appelle Maggie. Voici ma sœur, elle s'appelle Maggie, elle est un bébé. Et moi, je m'appelle Lisa, j'ai 8 ans. Et qu'est-ce qu'elle fait, Lisa? Elle joue du saxophone. Elle joue du saxophone. Dans ma famille, il y a 5 personnes. Mon père, ma mère, mon frère, ma sœur, et moi. So all of this is chapter 2 things. This is called a possessive adjective. It describes what you possess, which is mon père, ma mère, mon frère, ma sœur, et moi. Why does the possessive adjective, which is my in English, why does it switch around in French?
Depending on the gender.
Mm-hmm. So it is depending on the gender of the noun, père, mère, frère, sœur, et moi. Okay, so I'm not going to have you do this, but this is another way to imagine the, what is called petit projet numéro 2, which is a presentation of your family. Some people don't like their family. You could do it with friends. The point is that you have about 5 slides and you present somebody. So that is coming up. We're going to go on to some other family members, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. Okay. So I'm having all kinds of issues lately with Microsoft Word, and my PowerPoint would not download. And it's because Nichols, do you guys use the Nichols provided Microsoft package?
Yeah.
Have you ever had problems with it? I don't know if it's me.
Yeah, like it won't work sometimes. Yeah,
Exactly.
like you can't get in.
It's killing me. It's driving me up the wall. because yeah, if you have Microsoft Word and it's working, there's a whole PowerPoint of families that are famous that is in Moodle, but I couldn't make it work. Okay, so voici une famille. Comment s'appellent ces gens-là? Are you guys seeing the family? Yeah. Alors, comment s'appelle ce monsieur ici?
We can just see the words. We can't see the.
Oh, you're not seeing the family at all. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Voilà. Vous voyez une famille? Voilà, une famille. Et moi, je ne sais pas les noms des bébés. Je ne sais pas comment les bébés s'appellent, les enfants. Mais on voit, c'est une famille avec une femme et un mari. Comment s'appelle le mari, ce monsieur-là?
Il s'appelle Kanye West.
Exactement. Il s'appelle Kanye West. Très bien. Et comment s'appelle la femme, elle?
Elle s'appelle Kim Kardashian.
Tout à fait. Elle s'appelle Kim Kardashian. Très bien. Et ils ont combien d'enfants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Combien d'enfants est-ce qu'ils ont?
4.
4 enfants. Très bien. Alors, c'est une grande famille de nos jours. Ça, c'est une assez grande famille. Une famille avec 4 enfants. Alors, on va regarder une autre famille. Okay. Are you guys seeing 2 women? Oui. Comment elles s'appellent? No?
Which
Vous savez?
one?
Okay. Comment elles s'appellent is plural. And we're going to work on that coming up shortly. So you can't hear that it's plural. So it's a legit question, but it's plural. Alors, je vais dire comment elle s'appelle la blonde avec les cheveux très longs.
Je pense elle s'appelle Beyoncé.
Très bien, elle s'appelle Beyoncé. Et ça, c'est sa sœur. Est-ce que vous connaissez la sœur de Beyoncé? Comment elle s'appelle?
Solange.
Solange, voilà. Donc, elles sont sœurs. Beyoncé est la grande sœur, Solange est la petite sœur. Donc, 2 personnes très, très, très célèbres. Ce sont des gens célèbres. So it's hard for me to pick famous people because the people I think of as famous, you guys often don't know, and the people I think of as important, the ones you know, I don't know. So, voici une autre famille. Alors, ça c'est monsieur, comment il s'appelle le papa là? Vous ne savez pas?
Il s'appelle Joe Biden.
Il s'appelle Joe Biden. Très bien. Et il a, je pense, 4 enfants, mais je pense qu'un enfant, un enfant est mort. C'est triste, hein? Il a un enfant décédé. Alors, décédé, he has a dead child. I don't know which one it is. Okay, my Trump picture has disappeared, but Trump is all over the place, so I will just Google him quickly. Oh, voici encore Joe Biden et sa femme. Sa femme s'appelle Jill. Okay, I don't know how the Trumps disappeared from my... But luckily, there are plenty of Trump images out there in the world. So let me get the family. Okay. And I also had Obama images that have gone missing. Okay, voilà. Est-ce que vous voyez la famille Trump? Okay. Comment s'appelle sa femme, la femme de Trump?
Elle s'appelle Melania.
Melania, très bien. Comment s'appellent les fils de Trump? Il a 1, 2, 3 fils.
Je ne sais pas.
Il y en a un, le petit, c'est le seul que je connais vraiment, Barron. Il s'appelle Barron Trump. Comment s'appelle sa grande fille? La fille.
Elle s'appelle
Ivanka.
Ivanka. Tout le monde connaît Ivanka. And although it pains me to say it, Ivanka, elle est très jolie. Et les deux grands garçons là, il y a Donald Jr. et un autre que je connais pas. And I'm just going to pull up an Obama. Oh, voilà. Melania. Okay, voilà la famille Obama. On Etsy, of all places. Okay, I guess you can buy a Obama. Okay, alors, comment s'appelle la maman ou la femme d'Obama?
Elle s'appelle Michelle.
Elle s'appelle Michelle. Et est-ce que vous vous souvenez, do you remember de ses filles? Comment s'appellent ses filles? Non? Il y a Sasha et Malia, je pense. Sasha et Malia. Voilà, donc Obama, il a 2 filles, mais Trump, il a 2 ou 3 garçons. Il a 3 fils. 3 fils. So in the past, on the PowerPoint that I'm unable to download, I would also do the entire Kardashian family. And it's kind of funny because do you guys know about their grandmother? She was the grandfather, Bruce Jenner, but she became the grandmother. So unfortunately, we don't have that to laugh at. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of stuff in the book, singulier et pluriel, singulier et pluriel. So I'm gonna have a French voice read these, and I'll make sure that you can see them too. So, does everyone see in the book? I'm gonna share again. I need sound and I need to share the desktop. Okay, here we go. So are you seeing where it says singulier pluriel? Okay, and then we're gonna have some listening to do. Let me get rid of the Kardashians. Okay, so exercice 2, les dictées. So let me roll that back over here, and you can no longer see the book, correct? So do you see the book now? Yep, you see the book? Okay, and let's make sure you can hear it. So what you're doing here is there's gonna be a voice. It's going to talk about ages, and you're gonna figure out if it's singulier ou pluriel, singulier ou pluriel.
Exercice 2. Modèle. Elle a. Singulier.
So you heard that, right? The sound is coming through? Okay.
Numéro 1. Ils ont des enfants.
And you get what you're supposed to do? I see confusion among some of you. So before I teach it explicitly, you're trying to figure out, so you don't know, but you kind of should have a sense that some of these are singular, some of them are plural. So the exercice 1, so he just said, let's go back to the beginning.
Exercice 2. Modèle. Elle a. Singulier. Numéro 1. Ils ont des enfants.
Okay, so ils ont des enfants, singulier, pluriel.
Pluriel.
Numéro 2. Elle a 28 ans. Numéro 3. Il a un frère. Numéro 4. Elle a une grande famille. Numéro 5. Elles ont un chat. Numéro 6. Il a 3 sœurs.
Ok, donc numéro 1, c'était singulier ou pluriel?
Pluriel.
Très bien. Numéro 2, singulier ou pluriel?
Singulier.
Singulier.
Numéro 3, singulier ou pluriel?
Singulier.
Singulier. Numéro 4?
Singulier.
Numéro 5?
Pluriel.
Je pense. I've already forgotten what they were. I need to write them down this time. Numéro 6. Okay, so let's, pluriel. Let us do now what's called a dictée. And that means that you're going to listen to them again and try to write down exactly what they're saying. Okay. So back to the beginning. So grab a pen and a pencil. Un stylo, du papier.
Exercice 2. Modèle. Elle a. Singulier. Numéro 1. Ils ont des enfants. Numéro 2. Elle a 28 ans. Numéro 3. Il a un frère. Numéro 4. Elle a une grande famille. Numéro 5. Elles ont un chat. Numéro 6. Il a 3 sœurs.
Okay. Voila. So you don't yet know some of this. So you shouldn't have gotten it all right if you are a true beginner. So I know that many of you guys are truly in here with French for the first time. So let's go over the answers. Boom. So numéro 1, c'était ils ont des enfants. Okay, so what is it that you don't know? So if you attended class on or watched the video on Saturday, you would know enfant. You are supposed to know il from chapter 1. So those are subject pronouns. Je, tu, il, elle, vous, nous, il. So plural. Ils ont des enfants. So that you should know. Des is an indefinite article, so you should know that. There's un, one, une, one feminine, and des, some. So there's something in here you don't know. So it's this on. So for the students who have had French before, what is on, the O-N-T?
It's the form of have, so it's avoir.
Exactement. It is avoir. Avoir. So it is the verb to have. In its infinitive, it's avoir. How do you know that, for those of you who got number 1 right, what tips you off to the pluralness of it? Especially if you're truly a beginner. So
Des.
Des.
And ils. Ils
Ils
ont.
ont. So it's the ils ont. So you hear the S, which is why in that example with the 2 sisters, and you're like, which one? Here you don't hear that S. Elle s'appelle Beyoncé et Solange. So what do I mean by you don't hear the Z? So elle s'appelle, if you had it like this with one sister, and this is why people say French is hard. Elle s'appelle Beyoncé. It is exactly the same. It is pronounced exactly the same. Elle s'appelle Beyoncé and Elle s'appelle Beyoncé. Do you see why that's hard? Yep, that's why people say French is hard. Even like Germans who have hairy grammar, the grammar in German is really nightmarish, but you pronounce all the letters. And in Spanish, the grammar in Spanish is harder than French. Whoever tells you that Spanish is easier than French, study it at advanced level. They have 4 different subjunctives, which we don't even have, barely one in English. So, and you don't even know what that means. So imagine how hard it is. Okay, numéro 2, elle a 28 ans. Elle a 28 ans. So that is singulier ou pluriel?
Singulier.
Singulier. And so here it's only, so if you didn't get this right and you found it confusing, legit confusing because you don't yet know the verb avoir. So the only thing that's really telling us that it is singulier is that there's this verb a. And so if it were plural, elles ont, this would mean two women are 28 years old. There you would hear it, elles ont 28 ans, but it was just one. Elle a 28 ans. Okie dokie, let's do number 3. Number 3, il a un frère. Il a un frère. Singulier ou pluriel? How about
Singulier.
Kirsten?
Singulier.
Okay, singulier. How about like somebody who hasn't spoken yet today? What makes you understand that this is singulier? Like Kirsten or Morgan or Megan? What is telling us that number 3 is singulier? Okay, so you're saying it's un frère. Yes, one, singular. That's another way to see it. Totally. Yes. Okay, let's do number 4. Elle a une grande famille. Elle a une grande famille. Elle a une grande famille. Donc, Kim Kardashian, elle a une grande famille. Singulier ou pluriel? How about Cameron?
Okay. Well, it says L instead of else.
That's it. Elle a une grande famille. Voilà, singulier.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you got it. So yeah, it's not super hard. It's just a little tricky. Okay, and then we have elles ont un chat. Elles ont un chat. So here we have one cat, but I really want you to focus on this part. So singulier pluriel. Like it was misleading when I said yes, one brother, because that isn't really what I'm looking for.
Ariel?
Yeah. So yeah, this is singular because the singular plural, it's the verb and the pronoun. But I wanted to be encouraging and say, okay, one brother, it's singular, which because it's true, it's one brother, but really we have to look at the pronoun and the verb. So even though it's one cat, this is considered pluriel because it's elles ont. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. And finally, il a 3 ans. Il a 3 ans. 4 ans, 3 ans. 3 ans. Il a 3 ans. Ça, c'est singulier. Il a 3 ans. So let's do the conjugation quickly of Microsoft. Let's see if Microsoft Word will let me open this up. I'm going to conjugate avoir, and then you guys are going to go in little breakout rooms and work on your ages and whatnot. So avoir, in the beginning French classes, there's 2 verbs that everybody learns, être and avoir. So we have moved on from être, and at this point I do expect you to know how to conjugate être. Je suis, tu es, il est, etc. So if you don't know this yet, that was chapter 1. Go back and look at it, because at this point I assume you get that. All right, so on to avoir. This is called a conjugation. So j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. So in English, we have to think about conjugations. They're not really taught to you guys. Have you ever had to conjugate a verb in an English class? Does it ring any bells? I'm going to conjugate a verb. No, right? But yet we do conjugate things. It's just that our conjugations are kind of simple. So if we are to conjugate to have, what is it? I
Have. Um, he has, they have, you have.
She's frozen.
And ooh,
Yeah, Professor White, you're frozen. We can't hear you, and yeah, you're frozen.
So what now?
Maybe we should just wait.
You think she realizes it?
You're muted. It took me a long time to realize it. And then I was like, are they dead? Oh, God. At some point, I hope I'm not the one, but at some point, a professor is just going to crack. It's going to be like, this is too much, the indignity of the whole thing. Okay, so yes, I was trying to, I lost you. I got kicked out. You guys were frozen from my perspective. I don't know what happened. So let's just go back to how do we conjugate have in English? What's I to have? What do we say?
Have.
I have. And then what do we say for you?
You have.
It's the same. However, we get radically wild with the he and she. What do they do with have?
He has.
They have, or they, he has, she has. We go back to have, and then they have, you have. So English conjugations are just easier. We don't have to explicitly learn them. I'm curious, Marie, in German,
It happened again.
oh man, you don't hear me?
Well,
I'm
you
here.
cut out after the word German.
Okay, Marie, are you there? Marie von Brock?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Do you have to conjugate in, so do you learn explicit, like, I'm going to learn to conjugate all of these different verbs, or is it just natural and you just know it from speaking German?
I mean, you grow with it, so you get used to it, but we have it similar like in French.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys, that's what I expected Marie to answer. I'm going to show you guys in a second what French, when I talk about the French explicitly have to learn how to conjugate verbs and memorize to some extent you memorize, but to some extent you do grow up with it and you hear it. So here we go. Let me stop this share and start that share. All right, so we do not do this in English. We just don't. Okay, so here's avoir, this verb that I'm trying to get the present tense conjugation. So in many respects, French 101 is just trying to get you guys to understand what a conjugation is. So here's the present. It's called the indicatif, the présent indicatif. Here's one past tense. Here's a different past tense. Here's a future. Notice they get easier in some ways. What I mean easier is like the endings become a little bit more predictable. Here's the subjunctive, which I said that Spanish has 4 and French really only has 2. And so kids walk around with books of conjugations when they're learning French at school. In English, it's just not the way it works. Okay, so back to have. So we're gonna go back to the book. And again, my goal in French 101 is to, in some small degree, get you to understand what a conjugation even is, since it's something that we're not used to. All right, let me pull up Français. I accidentally closed in the chaos the book that I want you to look at, and then I'm gonna put you in breakout rooms. What you're gonna do in breakout rooms in order to be clear, I'm going to go over the exercise with you. So here we go. Just give me 1 second to get to the exercise. For some reason, when I was figuring out that Zoom had gone perfluy, I closed the book. Okay, so here we are, singulier, pluriel, quel âge as-tu? Okay, in your group, now here, let me remember to share with you. Come back, Zoom, share. Okay, so in your group, I'm gonna put you in breakout rooms and you're gonna do this exercise and then you're gonna report to the professor, me, these answers. So you're gonna ask each other, quel âge as-tu? Tu as quel âge? Quel âge as-tu? Tu as quel âge? So you're gonna tell each other your ages, which you do with the verb avoir. The response is j'ai blank un. So in English, we say I am 10, I am 15, I am 30. In French, you must use the un. The un is the years. Think annual. So, tu as quel âge? J'ai 30 ans. J'ai 20 ans. J'ai 18 ans. And then you're going to report back, qui est le plus âgé? So the oldest person in your group. Quel âge a-t-il? Elle a 21 ans. You guys are babies. I bet there's nobody that's over 22. Qui est le plus jeune? Et quel âge a cette personne-là? Quel âge a le plus jeune? Okay, is that clear? You know what you have to do? No confusion? All right, so I'm gonna break you up into groups and I'm gonna visit your group and make sure you can see the pages if you don't have the book in front of you. Breakout rooms, come on, breakout rooms, there we go. All right, I'm gonna make a few breakout rooms. So there's 4 of them. And I want them to recreate pre-assigned rooms, create rooms. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we come back. All right, so who's the speaker from breakout room 1? Okay, Ben. Qui est le plus jeune de votre groupe?
Chancy.
Et quel âge a Chancy?
Elle a 22 ans.
22 ans?
That is-
Elle est le plus âgée. Elle est la plus âgée. Le plus âgé. Qui est le plus jeune? Qui est le plus jeune?
Mary.
Mary est le plus jeune. Quel âge a Mary?
Elle a 17 ans.
Oh, Mary a 17 ans. C'est difficile d'être ici quand tu as 17 ans. Mary est le bébé. Je suis fière de toi, Mary, parce que c'est pas facile. Hein? Well, I have a little story to tell you. Like, I'm a language nerd. I like German, but I wasn't great at it when I was in high school. And my German teacher, Frau Kernerman, she said, Robin White, you should go to Germany. I can help you go study abroad. And I was like, no. And I regret it to this day. I was about 16 or 17, and I was just like, I can't. Yeah. But then in French, I liked that too, and I went to France. So, okay. In group 2, who is the speaker for group 2? I don't see group 2. Ah, Alyssa. Très bien. Alors, qui est la personne la plus âgée de votre groupe? Qui est le plus âgé?
Je suis le plus âgé.
Tu es le plus âgé, c'est vrai, parce que tu es dans la dernière année à l'université, tu es senior. Et quel âge as-tu, Alyssa?
Mon âge a 23 ans.
23 ans, ok.
23
J'ai 23 ans. J'ai 23 ans.
J'ai 23 ans.
Qui est le plus jeune de deuxième groupe, de groupe 2?
Katie.
Et quel âge a Katie?
Um,
Où est Katie?
Elle a 18 ans.
Elle a 18 ans, très bien. Ok, maintenant.
And I think Zoom might have kicked her out.
I see Katie. She's there. Yeah, Zoom is having all kinds of
back.
bad.
Okay.
Picked me out for like 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know what? As much as I hate Zoom, I hate high flex more. Like, it kind of works in this environment. At least it's better than like half the classes at home not knowing what's going on. So, yeah. All right, the last thing I'm going to ask everybody to say their age. Lane, quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 20 ans.
OK, Lane a 20 ans. Marie, quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 17 ans.
17 ans, la bébé. Morgan, quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 19.
19 ans, notre bébé. 19 ans, 18 ans, 17 ans. Kirsten, quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 19 ans.
Très bien. Cameron, quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 18 ans.
Oh, Alyssa, quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 23 ans.
23 ans, très bien. Katie, quel âge as-tu? Katie?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I wasn't paying attention.
Quel âge as-tu? Je sais déjà, tu as 18 ans? J'ai 18 ans?
J'ai, yeah, 18 ans.
Tu as
Sorry.
18 ans. C'est bon. Megan, quel âge as-tu? Megan Chancy, tu es là? Non? Chancy, quel âge as-tu?
Huh?
Oui? 30? Deshawn, quel âge as-tu? I don't think Deshawn's here. Paige, quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 19 ans.
19 ans. Très bien. Javon, quel âge as-tu?
J'ai 19 ans.
Excellent. J'aime bien comment Javon a dit ça. J'ai 19 ans. Super. Okay, so guys, meet you here on Wednesday. Hopefully I can make PowerPoint work. Hopefully I won't do screen shares where you're not seeing anything and Zoom doesn't freeze. Stay safe in hurricane land. And what you should be working on now, if you haven't watched the Saturday class, please watch it. You should be learning the vocabulary in the chapter. Please learn it. You should be thinking about your family presentation, which is due on September 23rd. Please start putting that together. And I will see you Wednesday. Au revoir. Au revoir, au revoir.